The best error message is the one that never shows up.
What's up everyone, my name is James Bogwa. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So if you're new, just consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate. So today I have a courage portal that I wanted to share with you guys. I really just hope that you like it. So we're going to start right now. So I'm going to come here and I'm just going to start this server. So I'm just going to serve that. So let's minimize everything. So I'm going to open a browser right here, as you can see from here. So basically there is a user that I had created earlier by this username of just the super user. So I'm just going to log in first of all, just like that. So as you can see, this is the dashboard, the first thing that you see if you log in as the super user. As you can see from here, we are logged in as the admin right now. Again, we can also be able to see that the system is able to summarize for us how many students we have. Right now we have 0, how many lecturers we have, how many head of departments that we have, and we have one admin right here. Again, we also have these graphs. Starting from here, we can be able to see the users, the logs. Okay, basically these ones we'll be seeing them later. We have the sent mail, so you can also be able to send mails. Okay, you can also be able to see students, lecturer, head of department, admin, courses, units, department, class. Again, we have this donor charts from here. Same, you can be able to see that this will be adjusting as we do our things. So basically I would like first of all to populate the settings so that we can get rid of this. So personally, actually we're going to come down here. So right here we have settings. So we are first of all setting up this system. So these are the settings that you require. So like we require the organization name, so this one can be deepnet. So let's write in capital letters, that would be nice. That's right. So we have email address here, so we can say anything. Maybe that's my email address right there. So the phone number of this institution, so maybe something like that. And again here we have a logo, so the logo that we want, so we can go with this logo. So right there, state courage right there. So I'm just populating where we have registry because that's what is required. So the location where we located, I'm just going to say Mombasa. You can say just Nairobi. Okay, so the county maybe something like that, and then I'm going to submit these settings right here. So right there. So right there, as you can see that the settings have been updated, and again we can also be able to update. You can just click on that, and then you can also be able to populate on the changes that you want to maybe change. So first of all, I'm just going to log out this, and we're going to see that that will be able to reflect right here. So as you can see from here, this logo is coming from the settings, and again we have this name. So this one is dynamic, we can change whenever we want. Again, if you are logged out of the system, you can also be able to click here and forget password, and again from here we can be able to put our email address, and we can be able to request a password reset link from here. And uh, again we have this one, students have registrations, so we'll be doing this. So this is where like if a student exists in the system, so the student can be able to register him or herself from here. So by populating the admission number right there, and then entering the desired password, and again signing in. So again the student can also be able to change that password whenever the student want. So allow me to log in back in. So we have said this is super user that we have. I'm just going to click on sign in right there. So currently there are those crucial things that we are supposed to first of all to set up before we see this in progress. So we're going to start by departments right there. So we can click on departments right there. So currently we have 0 department from here, as you can see. So we're going to add the first department here. So the first department that we want, we can say information communication department. So we can describe something great about this department deal with particular thing, but it's not a must. That's why you see we don't have this asterisk right there. So I'm going to click on submit. So currently we have one department, so we can add another one. So maybe we have community health, so that's another department that we have. So right now we have these 2 departments. So again we can add the last one. You can say mathematics, okay, mathematics. So assuming that we have 3 departments right now, so after departments I would like to add some courses right there. right there we have 0 courses, as you can see from here. So we want to add several courses. I'm just going to add 2. So the first one that I'm going to add, we can say degree in IT. So we have a degree in information technology. So these are courses that we normally offer. So we're going to just write there, and then the department. So this course, degree in IT, we're going to group this one as which department. So obviously it's information communication department, and again we're going to submit that. Again we're going to add another course right here, so we can say this will be community health, something like that. And then we say this one is under community health. So we have a department called community health, and again we have a course called community health, and again we can be able to describe about this community health right there. So I'm going to hit on submit right there. So as you can see right now, I have 2 courses which are available in the whole system now. So we have 2. We have degree in IT, community health. So again, we can also be able to update from this one. So you clicking on that and clicking on submit, we can be able to change something, and again that changes will be tracked in the audit. So that's how you deal with courses. So we're going to continue. So we're going to go to units. So units basically are like subjects. They belong to a certain course. So several courses has different units, but again you can find out that there are those units that particular courses normally share. So I'm going to add several courses right there. So allow me to specify on a degree in IT, because I'm not familiar with the other one. So you can say degree in IT. So the unit that you're going to do right there, we can say the first one is communication skill. Obviously everyone is doing that. So that's the first unit that we have in degree in IT. The other one is operating system. So operating system, so that's what you're doing again. So we are going to add another unit of the same particular course, computational mathematics right there. So we have 3 for so far, so we can add another one. DBMS database management system, so we're going to add that. The other one we can also add ICT and ethics. Okay, what are my lightings? Okay, ICT and ethics, right? That's right. The other one is structured programming, or you can say programming with React. Okay, my bad, what am I typing? So right there, programming with React, something like that. So I'm just adding these units. Suppose that these are the units which if you are doing this course, you'll have to do this one. So they can be as many, because the first semester you're doing different, the second semester you're doing also different, so they can be different. Again, you can be able to delete from here, and again we can also be able to update from here. So updating from there, just like that, clicking on that, hitting submit. So currently, as you can see, we have these units. We have a total of 6 units that belong to a course, and the name of that course is degree in IT. So we're going to proceed from there. So the department, we had seen how to deal with that. So in the courses we have created right now, so we have the units, but before that I would like us to populate on to add some classes where we can be able to enroll some students, and we can be able to continue from there. So right now, if I click on classes right there, you can see we have a total of 0 classes. So clicking on add right there, you can see that we require a certain time, term, my bad, and then a course, a particular course. So these are the courses that we had added earlier. As you can see, there are 2 of them, and then we have academic here, right here. So basically we are going to first of all add what we don't have. Like we don't have term, we have courses, we don't have academic here. So we are going to go to terms. So coming here, you can be able to see that we have terms somewhere. Okay, terms. So right there, terms or semesters. So I'm going to say maybe this one is term 1. So I'm going to write term 1. Okay, and then we are going to add several of them. We can have term 2, and then we can have term 3. So as you can see the notification there, term 3. Also this one could be semesters, so maybe semester 1, semester 2, semester 3, so on and so forth. So yes, so you can be able to update from there. Basically you can perform CRUD on that one. So basically that's how you add terms. So academics year, so you're going to add academic year. As you can see we had 0, so the first one is 2020. We say maybe 2020, and then we add another one. So this one will be 2021, and then the other one will be 2022. So you keep on adding them, 2022. So right there I'm going to just hit on submit. So this is the academic years that we have, and again we have populated the terms right here. So right now we can be able to create a class which does a particular course, which that course belongs to a certain department. So coming to classes right here, we're clicking on that, and then we are clicking on add, and then we are saying this class will be called degree in maybe you can say in IT. Then we say this one is 2022. So assuming this is a class, so you can have the abbreviation that you want on classes, and you can make them unique, maybe by year, by something that you want. That's level complexity is up to you. So right here, as you can see, we have that class, and then this class started term 1, and then it's degree in IT. That's true. So this particular class is doing this particular course right here, and then the intake that we are enrolling this class is January, and then which year? So we are in 2022, so I'm just going to use 2022 right now. So right there, and then just clicking on submit. So as you can see now we have one class, and this class is called that. So basically I would like to go them to students right here. So basically from here we can be able to register a single student like this. So you can hit on that, and then we have this admission number that is automatically being generated, but it's starting from 1000, so it can be set to something, and then this number can keep on increasing. So if your admission number have reached to maybe 3000 right here, so we can set it up to start from that number and then increment by 1. So that's right. But I don't want us to register a single student, but basically this is the information that's required to register a student. We have the admission number, the class that that student is going, the national ID, but it's optional, and then we have address, first name, we have phone number, we have date of birth, we have phone 2, which is also optional, and then middle name, academic year, and so on and so forth. So basically what it's not the good approach like to register a single student, so we're going to import. So if you want to import students right here, you can be able to download a sample file that I've linked to this button. So if you click on that, so I'm waiting for LibreOffice to respond. We're just going to open a LibreCalc right here. So I'm going to click on start right there. Oh, damn, my machine is slow, sorry for that. Okay, we're going to hit finish. Okay, and then okay, so this is the information that you require. If I drag it like this, so we have the admission number, we have the email, we have the first name, we have this name, the second name, the third name, and so on and so forth. So these are the information that can be able to be populated in an Excel sheet, and then we can be able to import. So basically area before the video, so as you can see, we can come here. Area before the video I had prepared something like this. So as you can see from here, these are students that I want us to populate right there. So we're going to import them, so we can just console that one, and then we're going to come to here. So from here we're going to hit on import, and remember that file we have it somewhere, so we have it in the desktop. And then we're going to go to that student boilerplate, and then we're going to hit on that, and then we're going to click on import users. So these students will be important in the class that we have created. So as you can see from here, we have been able to import 9 students, which are directly what we have in the LibreOffice. If I go back to LibreOffice, okay, I think I've crossed that one, but basically this is what we have been able to import. So after importing, we can be able to export this data. Suppose we want to export this class like in a PDF form. So we're just going to come on that and then select the class, and then we're going to hit export right there. So as you can see from here, now we have 9 students. So we have the date of today, we have the description, the class, the course, the intake of this class, the year, and the student that we have right here. And again, we have this one which is pulling up from the settings. Then we have the admission numbers, the detail of those particular students. So basically this one we can print like that. So basically we have the records of the student now. So we can do that for everyone. So if you want to print the detail of this person also, just hitting on that, and then this one open up, and so you can see from here. Okay, right there. So we have that barcode at the end there that you can be able to scan to see this information in a soft copy in maybe an app or something. So basically this you can be able to search students right here. Suppose we want to search this particular student, so I'm just going to hit or copy this admission number, and then I'm just going to paste it there. So if I search something like that, as you can see, we are able to see that particular student around. So this student, we can be able to perform CRUD, like we can edit the details. So as you can see, we can have a student image, but right now we have the logo because we don't have student image. So this is the admission number that we have for this particular student that we had imported. So basically that's how you deal with student, and these students now can be able to register themselves on the site, on the login page. Oh, basically what I mean by that is that if we click on logout right there, so remember I had talked about student self-registration right here. So if I click on student self-registration, we are required to put a registration number which is known to the system, so it should be a valid one. So if I try a wrong one, maybe just to see what happened, and that one will not go through because the password are not still meeting the criteria, but I can paste a password there. So this is the admission number that is not known in the system, and this person is trying to register, so we're going to hit on sign in. Okay, now that's okay. We have this notification saying no student with that registration number that was found. So an admission number must be existing in the system for you to be able to register. So we have this admission number that I had copied, so we're going to use that. So I'm going to click on paste. Remember this admission number, and we can choose whichever password that you like. So we can say this, the password is let me type something there, and then finally we're going to hit sign in. So as you can see now, this student has been automatically being logged in. So welcome, your account was created successfully. So right there you can see we have everything. So this is the student view now, and so you can see from here we have student. So the student can be able to see units, but right now the student have not registered to any units. That's why we have 0. So we'll be registering the units right now. So right there we are going to say that we have you can see you have my examination. So we'll be doing we'll be going through this one, and you'll be seeing also announcement. We have assignments, and again we have quizzes where lecturers can be able to set some quizzes with certain marks, and then the student can be able to attempt, and then the lecturer can the student can be able to see the performance, the score I mean. Okay, so we're going to go back to admin. So that's how you deal with students. So this is admin now. That's my password right there. So basically we have dealt with students, as you can see from there. So if a student maybe forgets the password, the student can be able to reset that on his or her end from here. Or if a student also is unable to log in, we as the super user, we can be able to help that student by resetting the password to 0, not to 0 but to 1 to 8. So as you can see from here, we have this student who have just registered. So if the student doesn't remember the password, so if I hit on this button right there, So you can see password reset to default, which is 12128 right there. So basically, if a student is unable to reset password, also you can be able to reset passwords. And again, this student can be able to log in the system and can also be able to change the password now after logging in the system. Again, we can be able to disable everyone, if this student is active. Right there, let me go back to the users. So as you can see from here, so if we are dealing with this student, so he is active. If I click on that and then click on that, so that student will be inactive and will not be able to log in the system. You can see this one is reflecting from here. So basically, if I click that again, I'm just going to hit that again. The student is able to to log in because the student is active. Again, we can have this data in PDF of the user that we have and the state they are, whether active or inactive. Again, we can also have Excel, so clicking on that, downloading that, and again we can also be able to import these users from a certain particular file, just as we have done with students. So I'm going to register staff, and this type of staff that we have is that we can have several. The first one that we can have is a lecturer, a head of department, or an admin. So we're going to start with maybe you can start by a head of department. So the head of department, I'm just going to choose this particular email, hod@gmail.com. The name, I can write anything, the phone number, and then the department we are dealing with this information communication technology, and then the role of this person is the HOD, and then the password, I can type something here. So right there, so I'm just going to hit register. Okay, staff registered successfully. So if I go back to users again, I can be able to see that we have a HOD. You can see from here, and again it's out of bound. We cannot be able to change the password of the HOD because we are not supposed to, but it's possible if another configuration has to be altered. So we can continue from there. So again, we can also be able to make this particular HOD active or inactive by clicking on that and doing that what we had done. So that HOD can be able to log out, to log in. So we're going to try that. So we have HOD, this one. So the HOD can be able to log in. So this is what the HOD sees. As you can see from here, we have the HOD. Again, the student that the HOD will be seeing will belong to only his department only. So if the HOD is for ICT, the HOD can only see what belongs to ICT and not to another department. So as you can see from this student, because we had registered these students in the ICT department, and this particular HOD is for ICT, that way you see that we can be able to see this. Again, he can be able to export this one just as we did, and then he can also be able to print the detail of a single student right there from there. So this is only possible if you are the HOD. So I'm going to log out again, and I'm going to register a student, a lecturer now, so that we can start basically seeing how to deal with the examination. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to click on staff again. So I'm going to add another staff, and we are going to say this one is rec@gmail.com right there. The name can be whatever. I'm just going to choose random things here. So the department is also ICT, and the role now is a lecturer, and the password, I'm going to type something right here. So right there, so I'm going to hit register. So staff registered successfully. So if you go to staff that we have right here, you can also be able to see that we have this particular lecturer right there, the last one. So we are going to try to log in using these lecturer's credentials. So we're going to come here, so writing lecturer rec@gmail.com. Oh, my bad, my spelling is bad. So there, and then we're going to type the password. I believe it's that one. Okay, then we're going to save that one. So right here we can be able to see that this is the view for lecturer dashboard, and then we can see the username is done. The workload is basically the units that you're supposed to teach in this particular term. Again, we have a library, we'll be seeing what's that, and then we have quizzes. We can be able to set quiz, and then the student can be able to attempt these quizzes. So we will be doing that, but first of all I want us to deal with the examination. Okay, so I'm going to log in back as the HOD, remember, HOD, so right there, and then I'm going to click on sign in. So right now I'm logged in as the HOD. I want to assign some lecturers some units to teach, so I'm going to come here to workload, and then we're going to click on add a lecturer's workload, and again you can select with this particular class this particular lecturer. Remember, we have a lecturer called rec@gmail.com, and then we have the year, so we're going to say the current one, which is 2022, and then which unit do you want these lecturers to teach. So for testing purposes, we are going to assign these lecturers all the units that he can be able to teach all these particular units. So we are going to start the communication skill, and maybe we say that we are in term 1, so we register that. Okay, that one is registered, so I add another one. So we go to operating system, the same teacher. After operating system, we go to computational mathematics. We continue, and then we select on database management system. So we continue like that. The other one is ICT and ethics. We continue. The other one is the last one, which is programming with React. That's right. So basically this particular lecturer have been assigned these particular units to teach in this particular term in different classes, but for this one is just a single class, but it could be different. So we're going to sign out right there, and again we are going to sign in as the lecturer, so that we can be able to see if we can be able to see the workload that was assigned to us by a particular HOD, I mean by our HOD, the department the lecturer belongs to. So if I go to the workload, you can see these are the units that you're expected to teach. Programming with React and the respective classes are listed right there. So this particular lecturer can be able to populate marks for the student who belong to the respective classes that we have here, if those students of that particular classes have registered to do the particular unit that this lecturer is teaching. But the lecturer cannot be able to populate if the deadline has not been set, or maybe the deadline has passed. So if you try to enter marks right here, you can see the examination submission date are not set. So basically we're going to sign out again, and then we're going to sign in, and this time we are going to sign in as the super user. So the super user is this name, or that's my name. And then we're going to come here to a certain tab here, examination report, and then first of all we're going to set deadlines. So but before this, what I could like us to do is that, because these students that belong to the particular classes that we registered have not registered for the units that they are doing, so we're going to do that. So we're going to go to unit registrations. So right here, if I click on this one, so you can see that these units that belong to the course that this particular person is registered, they're showing up right here. So basically what we could do right now is that we can register one by one like this. We deal with we select the multiple that we want this particular student to do, but in most cases you find that most of the students in a certain class are doing the same thing. So it's tiresome to deal with one by one, but we have this feature that where we can say register the whole class. So all the students that belong to a particular classes, particular class, will be registered for the courses that we are going to select here. So basically I want to register all of them right now like this, and then I'm going to hit register these units. So every student, that's why you see it's loading right there, all the students that belong to that particular class now have been assigned to those units. So to do that, to see that in progress, is that if I click on this student, You can see this student is already registered that he's doing this particular unit. Again, if I go to a random one, so if I choose maybe this one, so if I click this one, I see now this student is doing the same unit, this. So meaning that basically what that means is that every student now is ready now to be taught those particular units, and then after those units has been taught, the lecturers can be able to submit their marks. So basically now we're going to log in as a lecturer, and we are going to submit marks for those particular students who had registered for those units that we are teaching as lecturers. So I'm going to hit on log out, and then I'm going to log in as lecturer. Remember we had this, so then I'm going to hit sign in. So basically I'm going to click on enter marks, and we are able to examination submission date is not set. Okay, remember what I had said, that this deadline has to be set for you to be able to populate that even if you are the lecturer. So I'm going to log in back as the super user, and I'm going to go to this tab for examination and then examination deadline. So right now we don't have any, so we add one. So coming here you can see we have the semester that we want. We say term 1. So and then opening date, so it's opening, maybe it's opened yesterday, and now it will be crossing at the end of this month, and then we submit that. So the crossing date is what the lecturers will check for them to be able to populate that. So if the crossing date has passed, that particular lecturer will not be able to populate the marks for those students. So right now the lecturer can be able to populate that. So we're going to log in back in right there. So as you can see from here, so if I click on enter marks from there, so we can be able to see that these are the class that is showing up because it's already registered, because we have been assigned this class to teach particular units, and those units are here. So these are the units that we are supposed to teach. So we want to populate marks for communication skill. I'm just going to hit that and then submit. So basically all the students that belong to that particular class will show up right here, as you can see from here. Okay, so I'm going to populate this one, so clicking on that, so the cut is below 30 or equal to 30, and the head of term is below or equal to 70. So we're going to start this one, so you can say the cut is called 20, and then this one may be 50, so we hit on submit. So right now that marks are submitted, clicking on this one, so 20 again, and then here we can say maybe something like 60. So I'm just going to populate 3, so clicking on that and then saying this one is 10 and this one is 30. Submit that. Again, this one must be below or equal to 30, and this one must be below or equal to 70, and finally I'm just going to hit submit. So basically this is the first unit that I'm teaching, and we can be able to see that from here it's communication skills, and then we can see that this is the class and this is the and this is the particular term that we're dealing with. So going backwards by that arrow, and then enter marks right there. So we got the second one, so the other one is operating system. So if I was supposed to populate everything, but right now I'm just going not to populate everything, but for the lecturer has to populate everything. So I'm just going to populate that. Okay, remember we are populating 3 of them. So okay, 15. Finally we go for the last one. We say this one is 10, this one is 30, then we submit. Okay, right now we have populated 3. So we go to the units. So assuming that the lecturer is submitting everything, so we go to computational math, we click on that, we submit, then all those students which are in that class will come up, then I'll be able to populate, but I'm not going to do that. It will be boring for my viewers. So we continue to database management system, the same, you continue and then you populate. So we continue. The other one is ICT and ethics, the same thing right there, we continue. Okay, the last one now will be programming with React, and then we submit. and then we populate everything, but we are just not populating because it will be tiresome and it can turn out to be boring for my viewers. So we continue. So right now, this assuming that the lecturer have populated everything, not like me. So we're going to sign out here, and then I'm going to log in as the admin to be able to see if we can be able to see these reports, that examination reports on how the lecturer are progressing. So basically, I'm going to log in as the admin. Remember that my credentials. So signing in. So right now I'm logged in. So if I go to examination report here, so I'm going to start by uh, class report. A class report is a report that is showing all the students that are in that particular classes and the units they are doing and the performance, how they performed in different units in one single like piece of paper. So we click on class report, and then which class do we want? We want this class, and then which year? 2022, and then term 1, and then hit submit right there. So we see we don't have a record, no record for specified for that class, so we can choose this class, this particular class. I believe it was 20. You can try 2020. I don't remember what I had populated. So 2020, yeah, right there. So it's like we chose 2020. So as you can see from here, this is the performance of this particular class. As you can see, these are the units that we were dealing with: communication skill, operating system, computational mathematics, database management system, ICT and ethics, programming with React. And you can see that this is the dimension number of the student. So maybe I can zoom in. So basically this is the data that you see, and remember we had populated only this one, we didn't populate everything. That's why you see these zeros. So as the lecturers continue to submit their work, it can be able to be summarizing for us, basically something like this. So that's how you export a class report. You select the class you want, the year that you want, and then the term, and then you can be able to have the class performance report. So the other report that we can be able to generate is that we can be able to generate a student report, but for this one we must be doing the admission number of particular student. So I'm going to come here on the students right there, and then I'm just going to copy the admission number, and then we are going to go back to examination report, and then we're going to say that we want student report, a single student. So the admission number is that, and then we select the year. I've seen we had 2021, I believe, and then the term we want is term 1, so hitting on that. So oops, no record found, so it's 2020, I believe, then term 1. Right there, as you can see now, this is a single transcript of a student from here. You can see the name, we have the admission number, the student degree in IT, the class, and so forth and so forth. And remember we had only populated for communication skills and operating system. That's why we see that this one are blanks, the others. And again, we can also be able to edit this particular transcript before maybe even print for a student right here. So saying 10 10 and then submitting like that, as you can see the transcript changes saved. So from here you can see now we have 3. So then if you're satisfied that this is what we want, because what you see is what you get, and then you just hit on this print right there. So this is the final transcript for that particular student, as you can see from here. And this student can also be able to see this on his or her end. So you're going to see that. So I'm going to come to log out there, then I'm going to log in as a student right there, and then the password I believe was let me try that. Sorry, the student password was not that. Let me try as that one. Okay, it's like I can't remember. I remember I changed it to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So remember, I think we had changed that. Okay, so that's the password for the student. So we just go into it update. So the student can come here and click on my examination. You select on the which year that you want the exam, and then the term, which is term 1, and then you're just going to hit submit right there. So basically this is the student now. Remember, this is what we had populated the rest, and then it's showing up the same things, and the unit that this student is registered are showing up right there. And then finally now he or she can be able to just print this particular document like that. So basically that's how you deal with transcripts. So we're going to log in back in as the admin. So this is remember, the admin is that credential, this one. So clicking on that, signing in. So basically we have dealt with that. So that's how you handle the exam. So the workload assigned is assigned to lecturers by the head of department. So after the lecturer have taught, the lecturers submit the data of the scores for the student. And again, the date of releasing exam can be set by the admin, so that maybe the student cannot be able to export a particular exam anytime if it's not complete, like populating. But after it's complete, the super user can be able now to release the exam to the student, that the student can be able to access that, that they can be able to download a particular exam that they want. So basically after that, if we are the admin or the head of department, we can be able to go to combined report right here, and basically we can be able to change some changes that if a particular student has a complaint, we can click on edit, and then we can select on particular end of term will cut, and then we can be able to change. So again, we can also be able to export the performance of particular unit of a class. Like we select this particular class, this particular unit's communication skill, this particular year, which is 2020, and this particular term, and then we export unit performance. So basically these communication skills are on, and then you can be able to see that we have all this information showing up right here. So basically that's how you deal with that. We can be able to export the performance of a student in a particular class per unit, or maybe a subject. Okay, so that's how you deal with that. So basically that's how you deal with the exam. Any changes that maybe another client might want, which was not included, can be easily added from there. So we continue from that. I think we have dealt with users, staff, students, department, courses, units, workload, academic years, term, classes. I think we have done that. We also seen about how to deal with unit registrations. So the other thing now from there is logs. So basically everything that we were doing was being recorded right here. So you can see from here we created exam record, we did many things. So basically if something goes wrong from here, you can be able to come and check maybe this particular user updated general settings, and the settings that he tampered with was this one. So this one can solve a conflict. So every CRUD operation will be recorded. The other thing is that email. So we can be able to send some emails from here, but right now I'm not just connected to the internet, but we can just write the email, the subject, and then we write, then it will be sent, and again it will be saved on this platform. So that's how you deal with email. Okay, the examination report we have seen how it deals, we deal with that. So e-library is where lecturers and head of department or the super user can be able to post like resources, and the student at their end, they can be able to download those resources, and they can be okay. To do that, we can click on add resource right there. We can say maybe this one is computation, we can say math intro, and then we can describe this. We can, sorry, my bad. Okay, so describe this one, and then we select on the particular resource. So we want to share this particular book, engineering mathematics, with this title, and just going to hit submit. Okay, the path must be not greater than that. Okay, my bad. Okay, maybe I can choose that, and then clicking on title. This was math. Okay, math, and then submit that. Okay, they must be sorry, there are certain rules that I had set there, that the file must be either png, csv, text, and so forth, and I was importing something else different. So you can say merge, then submit that. So right now you can see that the resource have been updated, and it was submitted by this particular person. So we can be able to download this one. So as you can see, we have that logo right there. So basically what we are going to do is that if we come here, we sign out and then we sign in. I want us to sign in as a student. Remember we had this one, so just hitting sign in. So this student is signed in already. This student can come to e-library, and then he can be able to see the resource, and this student can be able to download that, or the student can be able to search something here. And if some books or notes exist on the platform, the student will be able to access, and they will be able to download that. So basically that's how you deal with that. So I'm going to sign out again. I'm going to sign in as a super user. So remember my super user there, right there, then hitting sign in. So we're going to continue. So that's how you deal with e-library. So announcements, so announcements is where we can announce something. So clicking on that, add. So I want student, HOD, and the lecturer to receive this one. Happy to work with you. So assuming that this is the message I want to send to everyone, like there, and then just hitting on send, and then we're just going to log in as we're going to log in as the student and see if we can be able to see that. So hitting on that and then clicking on sign in, so we can be able to come to announcements here, and we can see that 15 seconds ago we sent happy to work with you. So from here, so we're going to sign out from there, so everyone can be able to see that. So if we log in as the lecturer from here, and then we hit on sign in, we can be able to come to this particular tab of announcements right here, and we can be able to see that everyone is receiving this message. So we can be able to specify that this is supposed to be received by students, this one is also supposed to be received by another person, so all everyone, just as the way you have done. So that's how you deal with that. So I'm going to log in back in as the super user, so I'm going to write James right there, and then I'm just going to hit that, then I'm just going to sign in like that. So basically I'm going to go downwards here. So we have seen how we deal with announcements. So assignments, so assignments can be sent to a particular class by a particular person, maybe an admin, a lecturer, or a head of department. So maybe I can click on add something there, then I want to send assignment to this class, and then I can describe it, and then I can have it a title, and then I can type something here if I have, or not I can be able to attach a file, and again I can be able to set the deadline right from here, and then clicking on that and then submitting. So this is the assignment that I have been sent to that particular class. So this class will be able to access this particular file from here. Okay, so we're going to sign out and we are going to log in as the student. Remember this, and then we sign in right there. So we're going to go to assignment from here, and then we can be able to see that this particular person, James, sent this particular piece of notes in like a file. So opening it, we see that we have file engineering mathematics, good book by John Bird right there. So right here from now, this student can be able to submit. After doing this assignment, the student can come here and select the assignment that you want to submit, and then select the file that you have saved your work. So assuming that this is the file right there, and then we are supposed to click on submit right there. So as you can see, submitted assignment. So this is the assignment that we have submitted right now, and we can be able to update this. So if you don't have a file, it will be skipped, and the file that was originally there will be there, and if you have attached file, it will be updated like that. So I'm going to log in back as the super user again. So right there, signing in. So right now we're logging as the super user. We're going to go to assignments. So we have this assignment that we had sent and submitted assignment. There is a student by this admission number and this email address who has submitted the work right here. so they can have that exchange that student lecturers can send assignments. Student can do those assignments in a file, maybe in Word or something, and then they can be able to send that to the particular lecturer who had sent that assignment, and so on and so forth. And then maybe this one can be marked, and then it can be graded, and then the lecturers can be able to populate that in the system, and the students can be able to see the performance of what those particular units. So basically that's how you deal with that. So the other thing, this one is an interesting one. So this one is where that we can come up with a quiz. A quiz is like an examination where it's the system will mark automatically. So basically is that we are supposed to guide the system on how to mark, because I believe the system is stupid, but you have the tricks to guide it on how to do that. So we're going to do that right now. So we have this one, we have the title, so we're going to write a title here. The first title, maybe we can say we want mathematics, so assuming that this quiz is about mathematics, or maybe, yeah, it could be mathematics is okay. And then class, maybe this particular class is the one that is supposed to see this particular quiz, because we can't give quizzes that belong to a certain even department or another department that does completely different things. So basically here is why we specify that. So we want that this particular class is the one that's supposed to do that particular quiz. So I'm going to describe these maybe this quiz test math, I don't know what. So you can type that and then click on submit right there. So right now we have this quiz, but this quiz need questions which have answers, and we need to guide the system on how to deal with that. So clicking on this one action button, so right here is where we type a question, and then after we type the question, we type the answers, and then we get the system on which is the correct answer, and then the system will mark automatically if the students attempt that quiz, and after the student score certain particular marks, the system will notify the student that, hey, you did this course and this is what you got. So basically we're going to go through that. So allow me to use the simplest type of questions here for us to understand the concept. So we're going to type 1 there. 1 plus 1, everyone knows is 2. So we say that if you pass this mark, you get 10 marks. So 1 plus 1, everyone knows is 2. So this is the first question that we have right here, as you can see, and this particular question have 10 marks. So the correct answers will be colored green, as you can read from this text. So we're going to add an answer. So the first answer could be correct or could be wrong, but I want the first answer to be wrong. So we're going to come here and say this one, maybe I don't know. So that's the first answer that we have, that we don't know. I bet it can be that. So we click on submit. So as you can see, this is the first question we have. This is the first answer, which is not correct. So I'm going to add another answer. This one I'll say it's 2, and then I'll say it's a correct answer right there, and then I'll be submitting that. Then I add another answer. We say 1 plus 1 is equals to 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2, which is wrong. We're just confusing this particular student. They're called distractors, to use the appropriate name. And then we can say this one, we can put something irrelevant, maybe 6, or let me use type it, and then we say that one is not also correct. So basically you have this quiz have 1 question, and this question have 4 answers, and these 4 answers only 1 is correct. So I want to add another question for this particular quiz. How to do that? So this one, the second one can be, what is 2 minus 1? So everyone knows that 2 minus 1 is equals to, I don't know. You don't know, I know, actually, I'm just kidding. So 2 minus 1 is equals to 1, and we say this one is 10, and then we just submit that. Okay, so we say 2 minus 1 is what? So we can say, we can add answers. So 2 minus 1 is 1, so we say that one is correct. Again, we add answers for that particular questions. So you come here, we say 3, which is also wrong, which is wrong, I mean. So remember, this quiz has 2 questions, and these 2 questions have answers. The first questions have 4 answers, which one is correct. The second question have 2 answers, where one is correct. So basically, these questions can be endless, but to maintain simplicity, I'm just going to end here, adding on questions. So we want a student to attempt this particular course, and then the system will be able to grade out. Remember, if you pass all questions, you'll be able to score 20 marks. Okay, so I'm going to click on sign out there, and then we are going to log in as a student here. And then what I really want to do is that I want to do that quiz, and I'm logged in as a student. As you can see from here, I'm logged in as a student, and right now we see that the quiz that we are supposed to do is for mathematics. And then this quiz test math, remember, this was the description that we wrote after we had written the title of this particular quiz. So it was sent by this particular person this particular time. So for the student sides, we're going to click on attempt this quiz right now. So hitting on attempt this quiz, you can see now the quiz is showing up, and remember, we had said 2 questions, as you can see them from here. So from here, you're expected to choose the correct answer. So if you choose the correct answer, that question will disappear. And the same case, if you choose a wrong answer, the question will disappear, and you're expected to do the next question, but the marks will be calculated as you try to attempt these questions. So remember, the first question was 1 plus 1, and everyone know that it's 2. So our answer was B. So we can click on choose this answer on B. So as you can see now, we expected to proceed to the next question. So the next question is what is 2 minus 1? Remember, the first answer was the correct one, which is 1, but for now this student maybe can say it goes to maybe 3. So I'm going to hit 3, which is a wrong one. So right there, hitting 3. Now remember, we have completed this quiz now, because this quiz had 2 questions, but we have only scored the first question, which was 10 marks. Now we have failed 1 question. As you can see from this notification, is saying that you have completed the quiz, your total score is 10, simply because you failed 1 question and you passed 1 question. So basically, this quizzes doesn't have to be this simple or just like demonstrating. You can use like text, like something you have to read, some answers which are right. I don't know, that level of complexity is up to the lecturer or anyone who is setting that particular quiz. So basically, that's how you deal with that. And for the student now, I think what we have not tackled is that the student can be able to change password, but for you to change the password, obviously you have to key in the old password and then the new password, and then from there you can be able to proceed. So basically, that's how you deal with that. And for the student dashboard, maybe what we had not seen is that you can be able to see your admission number. You can also access the library, email address, the class that you are in, and then you have this graph for my unit. So we have a total of 6 units, so this graph is adjusting accordingly. So basically, that's how you deal the student views everything. So let me log in back as the super user. Okay, so basically we continue. So right there, so that's how you deal with quizzes. The other part is the settings. I remember we had seen this one when we were starting. So whenever we change everything,